Second. So let's get this right. So you're in a short in chain link. You make 20% on the trade. And then you decide that it's still going down. And then what you do is you realize, oh, this might still go down. So what do? You hop back in.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Why did you hop back in? Like what was the trade that you were making? So what's the trigger? Did the 3 minute RSI go to the top and then start coming back down? Did you let the 3 minute RSI get to the Did you let the 3 minute RSI go to the top and come back down? Were you trading the 3 minute RSI from the top to the bottom?
Yeah, and I thought that's more momentum coming down.
Yeah, but here. What I'm asking is, you have a system. You must repeat the system every time. The only possible trade, when you're in a trade and you make 20%, and then you realize that it's going to go down, or you think it's going to go down, the first thing that you need to do before you re-enter that trade is what?
3 minute red moon, red trend, RSI in my favor.
No. Okay, I just went over it. What's the first thing you do to determine if this trade is going to be a trade you're going to enter?
Oh, the 1 hour crossing.
Well, the 1 hour in your favor, part one.
30 minutes, 15 minutes.
Right.
It's, coming down in the same direction.
Right. So before you got into the next trade, did you check those?
Yeah.
And they were all going down.
Yes.
Okay. Then you went to your entry system, right? Which is 3 minute moon, 3 minute trend, right?
Yeah.
Was the RSI going in your direction?
It was, yes.
Huh?
Yes, but you know what is the problem? Then I jump to the 1 minute to see how the market is moving.
Okay, what did the 1 minute say?
I was kind of on the bottom of the RSI, and I thought that I can take another 20. So that was my mistake.
Well, hold on. So the RSI on the 1 minute was where?
It was kind of on the bottom.
Yeah, are you long or short?
Short. I was short.
And the RSI was on the bottom.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
1 minute. Yeah, I need to find out my trade. Let me see if I can.
But you do know when the RSI is at the bottom, it's going to bounce.
Yeah.
Which means
that was my mistake.
Mean goes up. Okay. So the other thing is that what was the 3 minute RSI doing? What was the 3 minute RSI doing?
They were doing. Give me 1 second. I tried to figure.
Yeah, but I mean, right there, that's the problem. The RSI on the 1 minute was going up, but regardless, if you're going to make that trade in there, get a re-entry into that trade, I would look at the 1 hour, 30 minute, and 15 minute first, like you're supposed to, and then I would determine how much space the 15 minute has to go down, or if it's going flat. Right? It could go flat, but the 30 minute could have a lot of room, and the 1 hour could be headed down. And at that point, if it's like a second trade, I need to know where the volume is, right? Because I need the volume to be heavily in my favor. So then I would be looking at the 1 hour. Was it an A trade or was this a B trade? Was the 4 hour even going down?
What? Actually, do you know what it was? Was when we were waiting for the long. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, that's for the long. That was doing the long. Mm-hmm. Yesterday at 11:21 my time it was, and then I screwed it up because I tried to grab the bounce. So I put the trace at 796. So yeah. I jump a little higher.
Well, are you shorting or are you long in that?
This time I was long.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that was a
I went
great
from the long.
that should have been
Yeah.
a good trade. Because I watched that chain link the entire time and it was
No, you-
reversing. So that the long right there should have went for 8. Where is it? It ran all day.
Yeah, and then
I was grabbing a little pieces on it.
So here's what you have to do. This is the kind of thing like every time after you enter, here's what I want you to do. Every time you enter now, I want you to put a stop loss at 10 to 15, okay? I want you to put your take profit at 25. All right? After you do that, I want you to go to the Discord. I want you to post your entry. Okay?
Okay.
And then I can go, like right now, I could have went to the Discord, pulled it up, gave you exact information.
Yeah, I only post my profits on the link.
You say it again?
But what happened?
Are you?
I posted on the Discord.
Okay.
I posted, but I didn't put the entry time.
Yeah, you have to put the entry. Right, because we have to
Yeah,
get.
because I have
Yeah, because we have to get better at like one-on-ones. Like I should be able to go through all your stuff, look at your last 10 trades, and give you information. Right, because I spent a lot. Like yesterday, I spent 5 hours. Right. So it's we need to be very crisp here, right? And it's not. I'm not. Like, you guys have to understand. Like if I'm like being like I was, like I was messing with Driven the other day, like because he was saying things that I was saying, but he's putting them in the wrong order. And I'm going to be very direct on it, right? I'm not really giving you guys shit, but I'm giving you shit, right? Like I want you guys to get better, but it's time to get better. It's September, right? So October, November, December is the best time to make money in this market. That's what we're here for. So right now, you guys need to get into hyper gear. Right, so you have to start doing what the system is. I've been posting in the Discord for the last 8 weeks to post your entries, but I don't see them. But now I'm here and I go to look at all the entries and I don't have nothing to review, right? But instead I have people explaining how trades go after something went wrong, but they don't post their entries. So at that point, I mean, it's like being in a classroom, right? If I'm a professor teaching you algebra, and all the students are turning in their work every day, and then there's one student that never turned in their work, but he's mad he doesn't know algebra.
Not true.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I want you guys to know, like, I'm here to help you get better, but you need to follow the system. The system works, right? So if you post your entries,
I see what was wrong with me, VP.
yeah. Listen, guys. I don't think you guys. I don't think you guys give yourselves enough credit to realize how good you are, right? And that's because you're new. But the system works very good, and you guys catch on very fast. What happens is you get kind of in these weird zones. Like everyone I talk to, it's the same thing, right? They start off, they come in. All they do is the system. They do really well. And then they see the Discord and they see people posting. And then they go, okay, this guy's posting this. I'm going to start doing trades with him. Right? Which is not what you're here to do. You're here to learn how to trade on your trade. So then you start making trades with another guy, right? Because he's been here longer and you've seen him constantly win. And then those trades don't work out for you and you don't know why. The reason why you don't know why is because he's doing the research on the trade, entering at points, doing specific trades that he's been doing, and you're doing the trade. And you have no idea what type of trade he's doing. So your part of your system or whatever trade you're taking, it's the same type of trade, but it could be set up differently. So when you got in, you didn't let the three-minute RSI reset because you just seen that somebody said, hey, entering this trade, right? And you didn't take the time to go through the entry system. And then you don't have anything to go back on and look and say, oh, that's what happened, right? You have to follow the system every time. You got to remember, everyone in the Discord is a student, right? Sometimes these students, they start doing things on their own where they'll say, oh, you know what? I'm going to take this a little bit early because I feel like it's going to happen, right? And that's what happens. And then 50% of the time it looks great. 50% of the time it's terrible. But you don't see the terrible because they don't post the loss. So, right, you're here to learn how to fish, right? You're not here to take the fish from another basket. This is why you have to post your trades. Right? Remember, the chat is not for you to take a trade. The chat is for you to be aware of a trade that's happening. And then when you review the trade, and if you look at the trade and you go, oh, look, the 15 minutes going up. Hey, man, I just noticed the 15 minutes is going up there. I don't know if you've seen that. The student might go, oh, shit, I didn't look at that. I was too busy making coffee.
Yeah.
And then you help them out. Because that's what we're here for. And then I see that you helped out, and I see, oh, that guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Very simple.
That the CVC, I know what happened. I mean, I was watching it. I follow your system. That's pretty good. I love it. But my mind played tricks on me. So what happened yesterday? We went on the long on Link.
Mm-hmm.
On my time was 2:29. So that's 14. That's gonna be 16:29 your time. So I grabbed that short. I mean, that long. And I get like, that's when I get weak up at 20%. But then I was following in 14.59. I tried to short the market because I tried to be smart and I get my money back because they wicked me out. So that's when I tried to do the quick reversals, and that's when I messed the part out.
What are you talking about, yesterday?
Just,
So what, 16.29 yesterday?
yes. Yeah, the yesterday.
Oh, yeah, okay, here we are. Right, we were talking about, here's the reversal that we were talking about. Okay, so 16.29. Okay, let's dig into this a little bit better.
No, that's a 14. Yeah, 16:29 your time because that's a 14:29 my time.
Okay, so you got in here, right here. You went for a short.
7-9.
What was that?
Yeah,
what was your entry?
7-9-43.
What was the entry price?
The enterprise
Was 79. No, 79.66.
Oh, you tried to catch that top of that candle,
Yes,
and you went to short it.
and they yes, but
Okay.
it didn't. And
What was your?
I
What
tried
was
to go for
your?
the quick 20.
You're good. You're good. What was your? What was your leverage?
That one was 20.
Yeah. See, okay. So look here. So here's your entry, right? 79.66, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if I go to the top of this candle here, right, which is 79.67, right? Right there, right? That's your entry. Okay? 79.66, right? And you did it at 16.29 area, right? You caught this big wick, man. Holy shit, dude. You were right on it. You fucking caught that wick. Okay, so you caught the entry point at the top of that wick, 79.66. You then shorted the market, right? The problem is you did a 20x, right? Now, I'm going to walk through this trade, and I'm going to try to explain, like go through the understanding of what you did so that you can understand the system, okay? So now, let's break this down.
okay.
So the problem here is, okay, this is the trade that you entered. I'm gonna make this a 4. All right, so you caught the top of a wick, which is fantastic, first of all. And in that moment there, you have, let me see if you have the basics. So you have a 3-minute red moon, which happened here. 3-minute red trend, which happened here. You see that? The trade that you should have caught was way over here. There's a big trade here, right here. This trade happened right here, right? And let me kind of just let me clean this up real quick. All right, so boom, boom. Okay, I'm gonna move this here. What I want to do is take this and fix this up. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is draw some lines here. So the trade that you got into was right here on the RSI. A little bit to the left. Let me get over here. You caught the top of that wick right there. and then you caught the top right there. Okay, so now on the 3 minute, right? You can see you see my screen, right? You can see my screen, yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's your entry, 7966 right here, right? And 1627 you said, right? Or what time did you get in? 1620 something? It's right in this point. It's right in this little spot.
Time.
What time?
Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
yeah, you're right here. So here's your red moon, right?
29. Uh-huh.
Yeah, 20. You're right here. 20. You're right in this little pocket here, right? So you're on one of these. Both these candles are on the same high, right? They're there. So all that happens is sometimes. Remember, I tell you guys that prices will hit that you don't see on your chart. The wick was a little bit higher on this second candle, so you're in right there. Okay, that's that 2029 mark right here. So basically, what happened here was, if I looked here, I have a red moon and I have a red trend, but this is the trade up here that you should have been into over here, right? And I'm gonna put that there. I'm gonna make this a 4 just so I can find it. And right here, I want to show you some things that are wrong. Okay. First of all, on the 3 minute, you have the trend, which is headed where?
Better not.
Heading up, which is okay.
Oh, yes.
I mean, yeah, that's okay. I mean, sometimes you can get away with that. Most of the time you can't, right? Now, what I want to do here is go through the basics, right? My very first thing is to look at my 15 minute. All right, so let me go here. Let me slide to the 15 minute, and luckily that's even closer than I need. All right, so here, do the basic rundown. 15 minute, head in your direction, okay? You're okay there. See that 15 minute right there? So step one of the list is that during that time, if you were waiting for yeah, I don't know how you didn't get in here, but right here, you see the 15 minute red moon? See the 15 minute red trend? See that? That's the trade. That's the trade we talk about over and over. 15 minute red moon, 15 minute red 15 RSI coming down, right? So let me put the blue there, right? That's a pullback trade right there. 15 minute red moon. There we go, right? So now the RSI is in our favor. So 15 minutes. So we start with the 1 hour, right? Here's the checklist, right? Let's just walk through the basic shit, and I'll say it the same way over and over because it has to sink in. So now on this particular moment, what do we need for us to do a trade? We need the 1 hour headed in our direction. Is that headed in our direction? Yes. Did it cross yet? No, but it's heading in our direction, right? Here on the entry that you took was the 1 hour going in your direction. Yes. Now 30 minute.
Yeah.
30 minute right here crossed down, right? So this trade right here is also in the pocket, and this trade is also good, right? So now the checklist, we get through the checklist. Let's make sure we have everything the way we're supposed to have it. So the first checklist is 15 minute headed down, this headed down, beautiful. You got a 15 minute red moon. This looks like a nice trade. The checklist is done. Now rotate. Where do we go? We slide over to the 3 minute, okay? 3 minute. Now on the 3 minute, this is where we enter, right? How do we enter a trade? We enter a trade based off a 3 minute red moon, 3 minute red trend, RSI bouncing, right? So you come into the trade. Here, you see a red moon right here. You get a red trend. RSI is here. You wait for it to bounce up. You enter here. This is the trade that you would have took a little bit higher, and I'm going to open this up. So at the end of the day, let's walk through the system. Red moon, red trend, comes down. The RSI bends, starts to come down here, okay? Here's your entry. You see that big dump right there? Boom. So you would have been entering somewhere in that zone there, right? Because you're going to see this. See the money? I want you guys to start paying attention to the money line, right? See the money line push up and reject right there and start to head down, right? That would be that's your entry. The money line's heading down, right? See the RSI line going flat, right? So you should be entering somewhere in this zone here, right? Right in here. This should be your entry point, right? Which is kind of where you're at, 7967. You're right there. So let's say you wait for it to cross. You see this big pull down. You come back up. It's the same entry for you, maybe even a little bit lower, right? And you let that RSI play out. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, it's okay the problem here is that you missed the early trade, right? But as you're waiting here, you're letting these things kind of like manifest, right? you get in here, this pumps up. This is the trade you'd be entering, right? And it's kind of in the same zone, which is okay. Let's make it a little bit lower. And I wanna cover this because what I want to do here is say, okay, you're getting in this trade, but you'd really get in there if you waited for your 3 minute to do what it's doing. And right there, you can see that would be your trade that you would take in this zone here. And sometimes these trades don't pan out all the way, right? Because it's a pullback trade, right? Meaning that it's not an A trade, right? And it's just sometimes these trades go for 50 to 200 to 300%. Sometimes they go for 5 to 10%, right? And here you kind of had a situation where you would have noticed that you already had a big pullback, a second pullback, there's a bounce, then this would have been your pullback to take. And that's pretty much the end of this trade because this is a pullback trade, okay? It's not a full trade. It's not an A trade, right? Now here you get in and you hit the spot that you want at 1967, so it's half decent. I'm going to show you basically what happens here, right? So let's say if you would have got in this trade down here, right? Which would have been you waiting for the RSI to cross over, right? This wick would have happened. Remember, let's cover the wick. This wick happens, it triggers. It goes down to here in the first minute. It starts to pull its way back on the second minute. You remember what I'm saying is if you're working the 3 minute candle, you enter after 2 minutes of the candle. So if it's a 903 candle, you would enter at 905, 1 minute before the next candle. You know what I'm saying? Right? So now this candle pulls down, pushes up, and then somewhere here, you're getting the entry, right? You might get in here, you might get in here, or whatever. I'm going to say that you get halfway because I'm not going to give you the super entry here because I don't think everyone's that good. But I'm going to put you there, and I'm going to say this is the entry point. I'm going to mark this here as the entry point, and then I'm going to take this to where this basically comes in, and I'm going to move this up a little bit here, and I'm going to cover this part here. So what I'm going to show you is you actually didn't get this trade, which is where you should have been, right? And this trade right here would have panned out to a 0.18, right? What that means, if you're doing 100x leverage, right, that would have been 18%, right? So if the coin got to 15%, where would your stop loss be?
By that point, 0.
Okay. The trade bounces on you, right? Let's say it gets almost to 20. You don't move your stop loss anymore. This goes the other direction. You get stop lossed out, right? So you basically get stopped on there. That's okay. You go back after the trade because everything is still going in your direction. This is where you get in, right? So you see the push, the RSI comes up here, the money rejects, and you decide that you're going to take that trade, right? So now you jump into that trade, which is the one you did, right? Now here, let's go ahead and take this look. You get from here to here, right? This particular trade goes for 0.47, okay? Now, if you were doing 100x leverage, how much would you have made?
400.
47%.
7%, yeah. 470.
No. 470 would be 4%, 0.7. 0.47 would be 47%.
Yeah, $40.
So if you were trading this trade the right way, which would be with 100x, you would hit your 47%. Let's say that you're trading into the system side where you're trading a little bit slower and you're using a 50x leverage, right? You would have got to what? 20%, right? Or 25, around there, right?
They wick me out 15%.
Yeah, it wicked you out at 15, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect, bro. That's the trade you're supposed to do. So I was going to say, if you're on the 50%, you're going to get wicked out at 15. So that's a winning trade. Okay, now what happened after that?
They went against me. I thought it's gonna keep going. That's what I'm not saying, because I saw on the bottom, you see the money line right there on the one that you're showing. I thought it could be a little more momentum for the RSI. You see the RSI?
Yeah.
They have a little down, and I thought they're gonna keep going.
Uh-huh.
So that's what I missed.
No, you didn't miss
That's
anything.
what I mean.
apart.
You hit the 15%, right?
Yeah, but I
I went in again because I thought it's gonna be a continuation.
Okay, right there,
And
right
that's
there.
when I
Here's the thing, right? Okay. Now we're at the point of like what happened. So you hit your 15%. You made the right trade. You won the trade, right? You've
Yes.
seen the RSI pushing up, and then it's seen it bend down, and then you said, "Oh, it's going to keep going." You
That's correct.
you were already in this trade right here. This trade is
Okay.
already happening. That's the trade you just made. This lags one candle behind, you see?
Uh-huh.
So when this popped up, you were out of the trade. You look above.
Oh,
the money line is going up.
Right. And you wouldn't take that continuation because once you get stopped out, you're out of the trade. What do you need to do after that? You need to let the 3-minute finish, bounce, and then you would make your next trade is when the 3-minute goes down and comes back up. Because you already took the trade. You're out. You're done. You hit the stop loss.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't jump right back in. You have to wait for a confirmation, which would be what? The 3-minute going back to the top. When that happened, what happened? Green moon, green trend. You're done with that trade. This trade keeps going. The next time that you would enter this trade is where? Red moon, red trend.
red moon.
Red trend.
Right. And at that point, you'd have to go back again and say, okay, when this trade pops up here, while this is all happening, what do I need to be doing? You need to be looking at your 15-minute. You're doing a checklist, right? First things first. You start 15-minute. See the 15-minute right there? It's almost at the bottom, right?
Yes.
But it's in your favor, so that's okay. 30-minute. In your favor. That's okay. 1 hour. In your favor. That's okay. Let's go back to 3 minutes. I feel like I'm missing a
So,
cause.
so in that way, I can wait for the red trend to go back in.
All right, so now you come back here. Let's take a look where you're at. So here you go. 3-minute moon, 3-minute red trend. You already know that everything's in your favor because you've been checking it, waiting for it to happen. So now you get to your 3-minute entry. 3-minute
Yes.
red moon, 3-minute red trend. Where are we at? Here we go. All right. Now, see that happen?
7966.
Yeah, the moon comes in, the red trend hits, but you're on this candle. Is the RSI going down against you? Yes. You let that play out. It bounces, comes up. This is where you would be looking for your entry, would be on this section here, right? Now,
Same price.
yeah, same thing, same area, right? And you're gonna remember, you're not always gonna win all these trades. Some of these trades are gonna go against you. This trade right here would have been a loss because it doesn't pull down as much as it should. Because by the time you got that bounce of the RSI for the 3-minute, like let's take a look here. If you went to the 15-minute real quick, as you're watching this go up, right? You keep checking the 15-minute just to make sure that, because it's already at the bottom, right?
Yes.
You have to make the decision there that at this point, I don't have any room on the 15-minute. But listen, it's see, right there. At sometimes the 15-minute and there's nothing wrong with losing this trade, is what I want to say. If you got the 15-minute going flat, you did nothing wrong there, right? Like, it's okay. There was a chance to make money there. What happened was, it just, the volume was too high, right? So remember, when are shorts taken?
Volume below 5.
Right. So where's the volume here?
Oh, yeah, that's way high.
But I wanted to walk you through how you guys are seeing the trade, and I wanted to show you how to make these little trades here, right? You did this wasn't right. Every trade you made was right, except for the one that after the trade happened, you jumped right back in without letting the 3-minute go back up. which would have then started a green moon and then gave you time to review the trade. Now, here's how the trades work, and this is what you're missing. The very first pullback of a trade on the 15-minute red moon, this is called a pullback trade, okay? Pullback, right?
Mhm.
Once that trade happens, you get a bounce or whatever, you can take another shot here at that next move there, but that's it. After the two moves, right? Boom, boom, right? Then that's it. I mean, to be honest with you, I would take this first trade here, and then here, I would go to my 15-minute because this is the pullback trade. How do we operate the pullback trade based on the red moon? Then we get a trade, right? After that trade happens, then I need to move to my next check line, which is what? RSI, 1 hour, 30, 15 in my favor. Negative volume on the 15. Do you see negative volume here?
No.
Okay. That trade is done. This is not a short.
Yeah, and the red line is flat.
Mm-hmm. Get it?
I
Now-
see my
Mistake, VC.
Even if you were
After I get,
even if you were making those trades, the crazy thing is that even though you didn't go back and look at your 15 volume, and even though you were pushing for this second trade here, the system at 100x is still going to get you in that position where you could still win, right? You ended up getting another 15% there. But after you do the second trade, you have to say, okay, after two trades, I need the volume to then become, and now I need to go to the regular short, right? What's the regular short, right? Checklist.
1 hour.
Right. Checklist never
hours,
changes.
uh-huh.
Yeah. Checklist never changes. 1 hour, 30, 15, right? After the pullback trade, right? We need a 15-minute red moon. What do we need to do after we make that first trade? The checklist then rotates over to 15-minute negative volume. See? You don't have that. You're way above that.
Yes.
So once you made these two trades
No,
here, there is no more shorts.
okay.
You need it to go negative.
Okay.
So this is a
Yeah,
pullback
that-
trade.
that-
Right, so first trade's a pullback, right? That's the pullback trade. Next trade is the next
Yes.
trade that you need to get into is what, right? Let me get rid of all these lines here. All right, I want to clean this up, make it a little cleaner so I can see where we're at. Bada boom, bada bing, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, so the next trade here, guys, is basically after a pullback trade, right? The next trade is basically a B trade, right? So very first thing I have to look at here is that when I'm looking at this particular trade, is the 2 hour cross is right there, right? So we're in a zone where we get a 2 hour crossing. Oh, that's actually current. So there you go right here. So notice here when you were doing all those trades in this zone here, did you have the 2 hour cross? So after you make the pullback trade, you make the pullback trade, right? It's in this area. That's done. The next thing is the 2 hour has to cross to start the C trade, right? Doesn't cross, keeps going up. C trade doesn't happen until here. This is where the 2 hour crosses. Yeah. So this was okay here because you were doing a pullback trade. Once the pullback trade's over with the 15-minute red moon, the next trade comes down to this, the regular system, right? Which is checklist again. Once you do the checklist, the next checklist is 15-minute red moon. The 15-minute red moon becomes negative volume, right? But once you do a pullback trade, the next trade is the 2 hour crossing, which is basically a C trade, which I don't like to do anyways, right? But you guys are looking at trades, that would be a C trade here, right? Right? What I like to do is I like to wait for the full confirmation is I want the 4 hour to cross, which is going to happen somewhere around here. Then that's the trade I'm looking for. So I'd rather just keep looking for coins until I get a 4 hour. I want to trade I want to trade B trades starting with the 4 hour cross. And as the volume gets lower, they become A trades, right? So a B trade is when the 4 hour crosses. The A trade is when the A volume breaks below the 4 line, gets 2 yellow bars, and then starts to go down, or a yellow bar and starts to go down. But it has to be negative volume on the 1 hour, okay? Now, the first trade, it's a pullback. 15-minute red moon, you do your pullback. Once that trade is done, you might be able to get 2 trades out of it, but I doubt it. But once that first trade and that second trade is done, you cannot go into another short until you have the next recipe of a short, which is what? 15-minute negative volume, right? If you don't have that, you're not even in a short. See what I'm saying? There's your simple checklist. 15-minute volume. Get it? But write this down in order. This is the problem. I'll make a video on it. But that's what happened, brother. You're trading in the wrong zone.
My problem was after I finished with the first, I never went back to check the checklist. I was going through the momentum of the trade. That was my problem.
Yeah.
Never went back to check the 15 minutes.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to basically, I'll make a video on that, on the steps, the way to do them, how it works. And you also have to be aware, what trade are you in? Are you in a pullback? Are you in a B trade? Are you in an A trade? These things matter. Start following the system. I'm gonna make a video on the basic checklist and how to work through each trade you're in, so you guys can start figuring out what trade you're actually in, guys. Make sense?